To continue with just one last problem, actually two last problems off of 8.4. Two that some of you struggled with yesterday, and I know that because you've asked me. Okay, here's a problem. A toy rocket is launched from the ground, travels the path shaped like a parabola. Write and graph. I'm not worried about graphing it right now, but let's write a quadratic equation that models the path of a rocket that lands 20 feet from where it is launched and reaches a maximum height of 36 feet, represented by the vertex 1036. So if we pull all the information we need out of here, first, toy rocket gray travels in the shape of a parabola, means it has x squared. That's all that means. Write a quadratic equation. Quadratic means x squared. Okay, that models the path the rocket has that lands 20 feet from where it is launched. Well, let's say I do a really quick just picture. My rocket is launched. Okay? Let's pretend for a second. It's launched from 0, 0. It's a good place to launch things from. We can pick wherever we want. It's launched 20 feet. So what is this point? Just 20? 0, 20? 20, 0. 20, not 20, 20. 20, 0. Okay, it's measured on x. So it goes 20 feet. It reaches a maximum height, which is also our vertex, at 1036. Now that's a really quick graph. But what I've done here is I've identified some points. So if I have to write an equation, I have multiple forms. Okay, and I'm going to teach you another form today. You have this form, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Tell your neighbor what form that's called. That is standard form, so if that didn't come to your mind, it's something you're definitely going to want to study and take notes on. Standard form. You also have y equals a times x minus h, quantity squared, plus k. That is called vertex form. Good job. Okay. If you didn't know that, you should take notes on it. Okay. When do you use those? Well, I use vertex form when I know the vertex, or when I want to know the vertex. If I don't know the vertex, I'm generally using standard form or the other form I'm going to teach you today. So I know the vertex. The vertex is hk. In order to write an equation using this form, I need to know three things. Tell your neighbor what three things I need to know. Okay, I need to know. Okay, so Quinn, you have done a good job. You got like 2 points today. Okay, volunteer. What are the three things I need? Yeah. I need to know H, I need to know K, and I need to know A. Well, H and K are easy in this problem. What is H and K?
10 and 36.
Good. It's 10 for H and 36 for K. I need to find A. Now, there's no easy way to find A. However, you do know these 2 points. Okay, you know 0, 0, and 20, 0. They actually give you 20, 0, so I'm going to use this. This is an x value, and that's a y value. If I know h and k, and I know an x and y, I could plug those things in to find A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my equation, I am going to plug in my 10 for H. I am going to plug in my 36 for K. I am going to make sure that X is equal to 20. And I don't know A, but I do know Y. Tell your neighbor how that helps you to write your equation. Hey, volunteer. Yes, Sarah. Good. Good. Yeah, you can find A, and then you can plug A in. So 20 minus 10 is 10 squared plus 36 times A equals 0. 10 squared is 100, so I have 100 A's plus 36 equals 0. Subtract 36. Negative 36 equals 100 A's. Be cool to have 100 A's. Okay? And then A would equal negative 36 over 100, also known as, or in fraction form. What goes into 36 and 100? 2. Okay, so we'll go with 2. All right. What goes into both of those? 2. Good job, Mercedes. Negative 9 and 25. So A is negative 9 25ths. All right. Which means you now have the information you need to write the equation of that parabola. I want everyone to write it down. Okay. Tell your neighbor what you got. Okay, how many got it? All right. That is how you do that. Okay. It's not an easy process, but it is one you should be able to do. Mercedes? No. So, good question. So, you don't have to put in these x values or y values. Remember, x and y can be an infinite number of points here. It's anything that lies on this line. We just happen to use this x and y to find A. So you could have used any x and y to find A. You could have used this one. Okay. Yeah. Does it say to write it as a function? It says an equation. So you could do f of x or y equals. Okay. Good questions. All right. There was one other problem that students were asking about yesterday, so I'm going to put up this problem. I'm going to try not to show all the answers on it. This is number 32 off the assignment we did. Graph the quadratic function. Determine which symbols to use to complete vertex form. Now, they actually have different symbols down below, but if I'm just trying to the graph. If I'm just trying to write the equation, okay, first thing I need to know, if it's in vertex form, is I need to know the vertex. So h and k. What's the other thing I need if in vertex form? A. Well, hk is easy, right? Negative 2, negative 3. How do we find A from a graph? Phil? Quinn? You could. Okay, you could go through the same process we just did. That would be completely fine, but there's a quicker way if you have a graph. Sarah? Yeah, you could use patterns. Remember, if we go over 1, however far you go up or down is your A term. So when I go over 1, I'm going up how far? 1. A is 1. Okay? That's always true in a quadratic. Now, there's going to be times when you can't figure out exactly what it is. Like if it crossed right here, you'd have to go, well, it kind of looks like 1.5, but you don't know that. You would actually have to do this. You have to plug in HK and pick a XY value. Okay, but here you don't, so you can just write it as 1 times x minus negative 2, which is plus 2, squared minus 3. Now, if you're plugging this into your computer, you don't want to put the 1 there, right? We just write it as x plus 2 squared minus 3. Okay, now they're asking questions on here. I mean, they ask you to put in these values. So there's the 2, there's the 3. This 1 and 2 just means where I'd find my answers. Okay, you'd have to put the plus and minus and stuff in here. But all right. Okay. Sir? You cannot use that as your x and y if you're also using it as your h and k. Yeah. If you're going to use this equation and xy value, maybe you want to pick like that point somewhere else where it crosses.